This is heartbreaking. I actually want to write to her personally because it really did upset me. She was the most dignified and sad person. She opened the door. She was lovely. But she said, no, I'm not going to fill in your survey. Nothing ever changes. It doesn't matter which councillor we have, which MP we have, nothing changes. We want to hear from everybody. Doesn't matter if you vote Reform, if you don't vote at all. We still want to hear what are your concerns within the ward. And the surprise on their faces, because they weren't used to a party other than theirs saying, we want to know what you think. Vote Reform. You will have one Reform councillor who is going to have to work with either Labour or Conservative to get anything done. If you vote Green, we've already got 6 Green councillors, and I will be joining a team of hard-working councillors who have got a proven track record.
And they have the ability to have a voice. Hello, I'm Jonathan Elmer, and this is Greens Rising. We'll be doing a series of these, covering different political people, situations, over the coming month. I'm here with Louise Maddison. Lovely to meet you, Louise.
Thank you.
The reason we're talking to Louise today is because there's a by-election coming up in Darlington. The ward is called Red Hall and Lingfield, and I believe it's on December the 11th.
It is, yes.
And you've been selected as the Green Party candidate. You've been a member of the Green Party for about 10 years?
Yes, I have.
What have you been doing over that 10-year period?
I've stood as a paper candidate in the 3 previous council elections, and I was planning on standing as a target candidate in a different ward, and then this by-election came up, so I put my name into the ring.
Why did you decide to get involved in politics? What were the driving factors that pulled you in the first place? I've
been politically minded for as long as I can remember. My father has always been, or always was, very socialist driven. My mother was a single mum and fought very hard for us, and she was a great role model. I've always had strong people around me who told me that I could do whatever I wanted and to fight for the underdog in society. And it never occurred to me to do anything other.
So, Louise, you're the candidate for the Red Hall and Lingfield by-election coming up on December the 11th. Tell us a little bit about the area that you're going to be a councillor for if elected.
Red Hall and Lingfield has traditionally been a swing ward. It's gone from Labour to Conservative to Labour to Conservative because people feel so disenfranchised by the process. And it's a ward of 2 halves. Lingfield is quite affluent. Red Hall has traditionally been very neglected. It's very much like a new town type council estate. It's an estate on the very edge of town.
Yeah.
It's on the margins, both physically and economically. And we have had a much more positive response there.
That's interesting.
They feel forgotten and they feel very underrepresented.
This is a small community. It's a division within Darlington. You'll be representing the people of this community. Have you spoken to them? Have you knocked on doors? What have people said to you?
I've been out on the doors the last 3 Saturdays. We've been delivering the 60-second surveys. Last week we were out leafleting in the morning and canvassing in the afternoon.
What are the sort of issues coming up out of that?
It's been really interesting. It was good to get out and have the opportunity to say to people, we want to hear your voices. We were delivering the surveys to everybody, regardless of their political stance. Yeah. So it gave us the opportunity to say to Reform voters who were saying, no, you don't want to hear from us. And it was like, yeah, we do. We want to hear from everybody. Yeah. Doesn't matter if you vote Reform, if you don't vote at all. We still want to hear what are your concerns within the ward. And the surprise on their faces, because they weren't used to a party other than theirs saying, we want to know what you think.
People actually being asked what's important to them,
Yeah.
possibly for the first time.
Yes, yeah. And the look of surprise on their face. It was like, oh, you want to hear from me even though I'm not going to vote for you? It's like, yeah, I want to hear what you've got to say.
And what did people have to say about the problems that they face? What issues rose to the top, would you say?
It was fly tipping, it was antisocial behaviour, it was time and again people saying, we're sick of the council, we're never listened to, no one is ever listening to what we have to say.
Mm-hmm.
We've phoned the council, we've reported issues, nothing is being done. Why should we vote for you? You're not going to be any different, they're all the same. You all get huge allowances and you never do anything for us. Why should we vote for you?
Have you been able to run with any of those issues and actually try and get something done in connection with something that somebody's raised?
It's a problem because there's such a short run-up. Usually when Greens run a target campaign, we have a lot of time and we can get things done. It's only 3 weeks to the election. So we have a list of all the issues that have been raised.
Yeah.
Things like the fly tipping. There was talk at one point of us even getting a skip. There was a problem with leaves blocking the drains and things. And when I said, we'll get some volunteers, we'll get the things cleared. Yeah.
And sometimes you've just got to do it yourself.
Yeah.
And we certainly do that. I know where I'm a councillor, actually volunteers do an awful lot, and it's those people that have turned things round. You met a Windrush nurse on the doorstep. Tell me about her story. What did that story mean to you?
This is heartbreaking. I actually want to write to her personally because it really did upset me. She was the most dignified and sad person. She opened the door. She was lovely. But she said, no, I'm not going to fill in your survey. Nothing ever changes. It doesn't matter which councillor we have, which MP we have, nothing changes. She had been a nurse working for the NHS for over 40 years. She was in her 80s, in her mid-80s. And she didn't insult me, she didn't rage at me, she just quietly said, no, I'm not interested. She had given 40 years to the NHS and she felt so disenfranchised and so let down by politics locally and politics nationally.
Well, I think that there are so many people who feel completely separated from decision making, and it's a challenge for us to try and win back their faith.
We have to prove through actions that we can make a difference, and I want to prove that my promises aren't empty. And there is so much work to be done there, and it wouldn't take much to make a difference in people's lives there.
Brilliant. I think you're the person for it.
I hope so.
In terms of all of the candidates for this by-election, you're the only woman. Has that shaped how people respond to you on the doorstep, do you think?
Not so much with the men, but anecdotally we're getting comments back that a lot of women are glad that there is that option. You hear the men on the doors saying, oh, all of us in this house vote Labour, all of us in this house will be voting Reform. And you'll see a woman in the background raising her eyebrows. So I think the fact that I am there on the ballot paper and in the privacy of the booth, it gives people the option to vote an alternative way from how their husbands or their boyfriends or their fathers have told them that they will be voting.
Yeah, great. People say Greens can't win in Red Hall and Lingfield. What would you say to them?
People have been saying for years that Greens can't win. We have 6 hard-working Green councillors in Darlington that have been doing a fantastic job for the last 6 years.
And I would put it to you as well, actually. People didn't vote for those councillors because they were Green councillors. They voted for them because they were hard-working local people. I
mean, it's going to be slightly different this time round because it is a snap by-election.
Yeah.
But we have that proven track record.
Yeah.
When people are coming to the doors and saying, well, I'm voting for Reform because I don't want to vote Conservative or Labour. Yeah, go ahead, vote Reform. You will have one Reform councillor who is going to have to work with either Labour or Conservative to get anything done. If you vote Green, we've already got 6 Green councillors, and I will be joining a team of hard-working councillors who have got a proven track record.
And they have the ability to have a voice.
Yes. When we had 2 Green councillors, we were making a difference.
Yeah.
We've now got 6. If we have 7, just think of the power that we have.
Yes. A little bit unconnected to what we've just been talking about, but I'm aware, having spoken to people and actually driven through Darlington myself recently, that there's a very high density of flags appearing across the town. What do people think about it? Because you've obviously talked to people, and what do you think about it?
The guy who's responsible for Darlington flags lives in Red Hall. Having spoken to people on the doors, there's a small percentage of men that agree with him, but there's a larger percentage of residents who don't. And
what do they think?
They find them intimidating. They find the whole attitude bullying. When we were out canvassing on Saturday, he was actually out in broad daylight with his ladders putting up more flags. In the opposite end of town, in Northgate, which is the biggest multicultural area in Darlington, over 70 languages are spoken in that ward. It's where the mosque is. He recently posted a video saying, "Billy, no mates, I've just flagged Gladstone Street all on my own." He wasn't doing that to represent people in Gladstone Street, because it's where the mosque is. It's a highly diverse community.
It's a very well integrated community.
It is.
So there's no question in relation to the desire to better integrate, and that's surely not an issue here, because it's already a very well integrated area.
I've had evidence from talking to people in Red Hall that it is angering and upsetting them. Personally, my partner is a veteran. He served in Iraq. It's not that I am anti the flag. I am quite happy for people to fly their flags in their own houses, out their own windows, on their own property. Don't have a problem with that whatsoever. It's when it is weaponised.
To Darlington's future. If you're elected, you'll be working with a much bigger group of Green councillors on Darlington Council. How are you going to change things for the better, collectively?
Our membership has doubled in the last 3 months.
Yeah.
We have so many volunteers to reach so many more people. It's making our voice and our presence felt within the council. It's carrying on representing the people who haven't had a voice before. It's making sure what we do in the future is dictated by what the people in our wards want us to do, the issues they want us to raise. Housing is a big issue in Darlington.
Yeah.
So many new houses being built, and it's not the need for the houses. There's so many empty houses in town. It's about the fact that they need to build houses to bring in the revenue for council tax. They are not providing homes for people who need the homes. And we don't need 4 or 5 garden villages all around the edges of Darlington.
I'm a councillor in the west of Durham. The houses we need actually are social housing.
Yeah.
And actually we have numerous previously developed sites that need to be built on. And so we're continually pushing for that sort of provision, but what we end up with is bulk developers. And so this is really, in my view, providing for the needs of the bulk developers.
It's not providing houses for people who need them.
Yeah.
You need 2-bedroom houses. You need small starter homes for people to get on the housing ladder. And there are brownfield sites in Darlington that could be developed.
Yeah.
It would be great to push for subsidies for builders to be able to develop brownfield sites.
Yeah. You've talked about a person already who's lost faith in politics. How do you think you can rebuild their faith in politics?
I don't believe that talking can restore faith. I think you've got to prove by actions that you can do something. I think we've got to be seen to be acting. So whether it's, instead of doing a ward surgery, sitting in a drafty hall waiting for people to turn up, you've got to be out on the streets, putting a leaflet through the door saying, right, I'm walking your street in the next 2 hours. If you want to talk to me, put the card in the window and I'll come and knock on your door and talk to you. Something like that, so that you're engaging, that you're seen to be out there, actually engaging with the people in your community.
How are you going to feed back to people what you've done if you're elected?
We're very good with newsletters that are reporting back what we've done, what we've achieved, quantifiable. And if you're doing something for a particular person, if they've raised an issue, giving them feedback, sending them an email, phoning them, saying, right, this is the response that we've had, or it isn't working so far, but we'll still follow it through.
I think that's really important as well, because it's actually a return to a much more traditional approach to politics, which is about listening, valuing, acting, and then reporting back.
We are not doing this for our own glory. We are doing this to serve the people who elect us.
What we seem to be seeing right now is a dissolution of people's faith in the mainstream parties. Certainly the Conservatives and the Labour Party, and locally as well as nationally. Greens have actually got to at the point where we're second in the opinion polls.
It has been a monumental rise.
But this is where we are now. So people are willing to give us a shot and get behind a party that is trying to put hope and positive change back into politics.
Yes.
That's certainly what we're trying to do.
When we got into politics as young people in the 80s, you had people standing in their local wards. As MPs, they were standing in their local constituencies. And you had people who believed in their local areas. Now you have career politicians who haven't got a clue the area they're standing for.
With very polished performances, I guess.
It is. And it's... I think the Green Party are about getting back to that grassroots politics, about caring for your local area. And people who are so disillusioned recognise that kind of community, that caring for your community, caring for your local area, that grassroots politics that we have lost.
To the extent that just the word politics puts people off. People don't like politics, and you can understand why. So I'm going to bring things to a close now, because we've had a wonderful conversation with you. It's been absolutely lovely talking to you.
Thank you. You too.
Wish you the best. I'm hoping that I'll be calling you Councillor Louise Maddison. This is Louise Maddison, bringing hope back into politics. Thank you so much for listening to Greens Rising. Please like and subscribe. Join the Green Party as well. Just go to our website and become part of the movement. See you next time on Greens Rising. Cheerio.